Hit Kiev, come on. No. Get a Kiev. We're doing what Russia never could. Putin's watching this and crying. You're having a kid! Dolphin! Shit, man! Congratulations! Hell yeah, dude! Damn. Wait, are you joking? Dolphin, I swear to God, if you're joking, I will fucking murder you. You can't, like, just say you're having a kid and then just say you're joking. Dolphin, I swear to fucking God. It's April Fool's. Dolphin, you son of a bitch! I was happy for you, you piece of shit! I was legitimately happy for you! And then you pull that shit. That's fucked up, Dolphin. Zemstvo is a form of local governance and representation first introduced by Alexander II in 1864. It is strongly weights favors to aristocrats, but still assures representation of the lower classes. It will, without a doubt, assure stability in our torn nation. All right, we're gonna get the economy back on track. But yeah, right now, after the tragic death of President Kerensky, Russia is a nation in shock. Fyodor Engel is desperately trying to get the Duma and the centralized government in Moscow back under control, but it is not an easy task. We are surrounded by enemies to the west and to the east, so we must prepare. Therefore, I think that we will cut ourselves off entirely from diplomatic contact unless anyone wants to talk to us until we've dealt with our political instability. Once that's been dealt with, we can begin to talk with the other world's nations, and Russia can re-enter onto the world stage. Like, it gets better, but in the beginning, it's brutal. It's really fucking brutal. Because again, the president dies, the democracy dies, and you have to rebuild the country. We'll have options of what we want to do. We have three options. We can go with the monarchy. We can bring back the monarchy. We can do the republic, so we can go back to being a democracy. Or we can become like an autocratic dictator. I'll do a poll for that, actually. I've been playing so much fucking Millennium Dawn lately, I could barely remember what text to take here. To be honest. It's been a minute. Well, political stabilization finally in place, we are prepared to enact a series of intensive reforms aiming at restoring pre-crisis industrial power. Wonderful. We'll reduce the effects of the depression. Obviously, in the lower Kaiserreich, in the beginning, Germany gets hit with the, basically a Great Depression. It affects all the world's markets, including us. So we are currently trying to recover from the economic crash that happened, which Germany caused. It's also the beginning of the loss of German superpower status. So it allows our country to take advantage of it if we're not really dumb. So we'll see. Do you get dick pics in DMs? I've gotten nudes before. They weren't mailed. But I think it was definitely someone male sending them. So it was just really weird. I would assume. I mean, maybe it was a woman. I don't know. I blocked them though, regardless. It was really weird. I don't know. I don't trust getting female nudes on the internet, man. I don't trust that shit. It's a man. It's a dude. All right, we need to get rid of economic depression, so we'll do funding frenzy. By offering more economic support and tax reductions to the Zemstva, we can make sure that they start funding local projects like never before. Moreover, it will strengthen the connections between the people of Russia and these new established state authorities. Sounds like a plan. Growth of international cynicalism and the threat it poses to Russia has gotten a handful of our intellectuals to look towards Germany as a potential ally. So-called Russian-German Study Society is established in Moscow, unites a circle of historians, writers, and politicians who all share staunch right-wing ideals. In its first proclamation to the society, it stated that Russia should finally come to terms with the losses of Brest-Litovsk and strike an agreement with Germany to reclaim the Caucasus in Central Asia. All right, there's an interest group within our country now proposing that we basically align with Germany. We'll do a poll for that. I'll do a lot of polls today. I'll let you guys decide a lot of what we do in the beginning, and then I'll roleplay it out, essentially. So
you're speaking to the US ambassador to Russia.
Ah, ambassador. Well, welcome to my office. Take a seat. It's not the best right now. We've had a lot of issues getting things up and running after the death of Kerensky. I'm sure you understand.
We've heard that is, of course, I hope that the person that dealt with, that shot Mr. Kerensky was dealt with. We have some leads, but we haven't found him yet, unfortunately. I hope that everything under wrangle is, hope you've stabilized Russia.
We have done a good job of stopping the protests, worker strikes, and things of that nature. The people are unhappy, and I am doing my best to get the economic incentives in place to come out of the depression and get a functional Russia yet again. And Mr. President, or Ambassador, may I just say that I will be committed towards ensuring that democracy survives in Russia.
The cynicalists, as much as I guess you've dealt with the cynicals of your own, have been rising up with this band to make it even worse. The American First Party and the Syndicalist Party, led by Jack Reed, both of them have ensured that Hoover was unable to economically revive the United States of America.
Is there anything Russia can do? Obviously, we're very limited right now in our capacity to provide any sort of aid, but if I can help in any way to prevent an American Civil War, I would love to do so, Ambassador. Is there anything I can do?
Well, politically, no. We know that, you know, you have your own issues to deal with, and that is one.
Of course, but there are very few of us left, Ambassador. Democracies are a dying breed, and we must ensure that we survive. For the future of the world should not be won by the syndicalists or strongmen like in Germany. If I could do anything, I will do so.
You also, if you do support us, we will also return the favor. We know that there are certain issues you wish to see back under your rule, such as the Don Cuban region and such.
There is much Russia must do to rebuild itself, but for now, my friend, we will only discuss the future of America. We must ensure that you are strong, so democracies may once again prevent wars, strife, and tyranny across the world. But we will speak soon, Ambassador. A national investment bank will safeguard not only the resources invested by the Zemstva, but should also offer beneficial loans to local projects. This bank will also help us to control many transactions of the Zemstva and our local businessmen. Hello, Emperor Hirohito.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. How may the newly elected Prime Minister of Tokyo help you today?
Now that we have begun to centralize authority in Moscow and Russia is coming back from its depths of despair, I want to start formally beginning to pave the future for our country. We are watching the growing power of the left Kuomintang in China with growing concern, and I'd like to first ask if you have any plans to deal with that situation.
Sir, with all due respect to Mr. President of Russia, the left Kuomintang has been chosen by the new Japan government as its new selected representative in China, instead of the original
Am I to understand that Japan will also be falling to the powers and whims of the syndicalists?
No, we will continue to move down the path of democracy.
Then why exactly is your government supporting such a radical and dangerous government in China?
The left Kuomintang have made concessions as it has agreed to align its diplomacy and future goals along with the Japanese government. We
Syndicalists will tell all manner of lies to get you to do what they want.
Sir, with all due respect, this is not only the decree of the Japanese government. However, this is also what we have agreed upon in the White House. The Japanese will not change their mind in who they will be sponsoring in China. We will not be strong-armed into supporting a candidate that we do not.
No one has suggested strong-arming, Emperor. Did I at any point suggest that we would strong-arming your government?
We will be at this point still considered the. Mr. President, with all due respect, you
keep saying that, but I'm not getting a lot of respect from you right now.
Sir, if this is what we are going to come off to, then Japanese is not fearful of trying to defend its allies in the East.
Very well. We will speak more in the future.
Very well.
Well, that didn't go how I expected. So Japan is supporting the Kuomintang, which is radical socialists. Their extremist ideology. I think we're going to go ahead and phone up, oh god, it's Huey Long. I don't like this. I don't like any of this. I don't like this. This is not looking good, guys. This is getting a little bit sketchy here, to be honest. I mean, we're going to play an anti-syndicalist aristocratic Russia, so realistically we can't really work with Japan if they're going to support like far leftists in China. Like, that's just not going to happen. Let's call up Huey Long. Let's see what happens. We wanted to ask you about your support for the left Kuomintang government in China, which Japan has said that you are supporting.
That was probably one of Hoover's things. Anything that Hoover's done, don't say that it doesn't count. Anything that Hoover's done is being revoked as we speak.
So I take it that the United States will no longer be supporting the left Kuomintang government in China?
We will not support no damn syndicalist. Nah, nah. We won't support him. Nah. He can.
Good. We're very glad to hear that. In that case, Mr. Long, I would like to request that you put some pressure on the Emperor of Japan to try and get them to stop supporting these extremists in China, which would be very dangerous for Asia.
I'll go speak to him and see what I can get out of it.
I'm very appreciative. Thank you very much, Mr. Long. America does not support the Kuomintang, so no. Emperor, who exactly did you claim that was supporting them besides yourself?
The previous president.
Yes, but the previous previous president's no longer in power, and I've already revoked everything he's done. So I don't.
However, the Japanese Empire continues to support the left Kuomintang despite being cornered by both the power in the world.
We find that to be very disturbing. Russia does support the Qing government in Beijing, and any hostile acts against that government will be considered a hostile act against Russia.
Sir, with all due respect, has left Kuomintang committed any act of war against Qing government as of 21st of February?
We know what syndicalists do. They'll lie through their teeth and take everything in an instant.
Yeah.
So our claims are simple. We have not seen any hostility from the Kuomintang, and we hope that it stays that way. But again, any acts of war or violence or perpetrated acts against the Qing government will be considered a hostile act against Russia.
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to my home.
I'm just gonna leave before this syndicalist devil curses me with something, y'all. Let me just go. Oh, wait,
take your leave rapidly, sir.
Well, while we're here and we can talk with you, this is obviously President Wrangel speaking. You know that Russia does not care much for your type, as long as you stay within your borders and do not take hostile actions against other Chinese nations. I would
like you to specify what you mean by our type. Do you mean Chinese people, sir?
I mean dirty reds. I mean dirty reds. That's what I mean. Dirty commie bastards. That's what I mean.
Dirty communists, sir. You dare call us communists?
It's all the same goddamn thing to me. You can pretend that you have some other little ideology. I don't really care. They're all the same. They all seek to destroy the nations and institutions which uphold a country, as far as I am concerned and Russia is concerned.
It is truly terrible that an outside country can be so scared of Chinese people enacting Chinese wishes.
My fear is that the world will go further down the already dangerous. Oh, I apologize. There's something happening in America. I must go, gentlemen.
The U.S. is I'm no longer Huey Long. My name is General MacArthur. Huey Long was a traitor. He was trying to defy Congress. So as the U.S., I'm not saying I'm going to stay as president.
General MacArthur, as soon as you are at war, we will send volunteers to try and help you out with your conflict here.
We will not let these syndicalists rule America.
All right, the failure of the Republic and its ability to adapt to the crisis has finally brought it full circle. Only through guidance of the Tsar can Russia reclaim her place on the world stage like a phoenix rising from the ashes. We shall restore the empire to its former glory. Constitutional monarchy. That voice crack, holy shit. Sounds good.
Sorry, not call me syndicalist.
You are now speaking with Vladimir III.
Hello there, Your Excellency. Well, I hope your general that kept the stability has informed you of the current situation.
I have been kept up to date by Wrangel before he stepped down. We understand the full situation, and we will of course back your government as it continues to bring stability to the American continent. Because I didn't do a fucking... Why are my troops moving? Probably because there's no fucking offensive line. Nice! That's about right. That's about right. Yeah, we are Romanov, I believe. Vladimir, is he Romanov? I think so. Grand Duke Kirill Vladimirovich. No, Vladimirovich. After the execution of Nikolai and his family, Kirill claimed his rule over the scattered houses of Romanov. Okay, so he is a Romanov, he's just probably like a very distant one. Okay, we're gonna finish research, investments, and then we're gonna go ahead and do secure Central Asia, after which we're gonna get all of our dockyards, and then we'll do our military reforms. We have pretty much entirely secured Russia right now, politically speaking. We have a constitution. Vladimir III has been in power long enough to kind of wrest control, and our economy is looking very good. We're in not bad shape here, to be honest. What is this song? All right, gentlemen, to secure the old borders and begin restoring Russia, we must move forward. We're gonna work on our navy now. Wrangel, win the war for us. Our most loyal general. We'll get A too, just in case. I got a full steer. All right, let me paint the picture, guys. After Wrangel secured Russia, following the death of Kerensky, he has put Vladimir III on the throne. Vladimir III is concerned primarily with restoring the glory and borders of Russia. We must take back Central Asia, Eastern Europe, and the Manchurian territories. We will work with anyone who helps us to this end, but to any who do not, there is nothing but war and conquest.
Hello there, I would like to say, I wish to say to Russia that the Canadians are backstabbers.
What have the Canadians done?
I made a deal
they
with
declared
them.
war on you!
Yes.
That uppity British fuck!
I made a deal with the Canadians saying that they could have Alaska. I promised them Alaska, and they brought it under the Pacific States
General MacArthur, let me assure you, as soon as I have dealt with these rebels in Central Asia, I will be able to provide your government whatever you need. Would you need more guns, General?
No, we just need bodies on the field. Canada has brought its entire slave force against us.
Goddamn British miscreants, don't worry. As soon as this war is over, Russia's own will provide you the forces that you require. Do not worry. As soon as we are able, we will be there, friend.
Thank you. I'll go back to Washington.
I'll do what I can, General. Russia may hold its ambitions of retaking the West, but even the most radical Russian nationalists can tell that she is not be any of challenge to Germany in this state. Her military industry has been neglected, and her economy is not yet ready to produce the West. You know what? We're going to take the hit. I'm going to take the extra factories. Does the Kaiser have a moment to speak with Russia?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Kaiser Wilhelm.
Yes. What is it?
We have not spoken since I have risen to power in Moscow.
That is true. We have not spoken in a hot minute.
As you know, Russia has undergone dramatic changes after the death of Kerensky, the stabilizing under my friend Wrangel, and now the return of the true leaders of Russia.
That's good to hear. Recently, Germany has been going under its own referendum. We're trying to sway less towards a Germanic empire, towards more of a social democracy in this case. That's the reason why we have reformed most of our government to be a social democracy, and we have also revised our for Black Monday. We went ahead and restored our economy to a more, how to put it, more privately owned versus state-owned.
Well, you have embraced capitalism then.
Essentially, yes. We embrace capitalism. We even have our own standard currency now in Europe.
If you will not be pursuing your imperial dominions, though, do I take it to mean that you will no longer be guaranteeing the occupied states in Ukraine and Ruthenia?
As they are I do know that they are part of the Reich Pact, and we do respect the Reich Pact as something that is an economic bloc more than anything.
I understand that, but as far as Russia's concerned, those are occupied territories that you took from us without right. I would hate for Germany and Russia to become rival powers. As you know, Russia's might is growing by the day, and we will be soon deciding who our friends and who our enemies are. I hope, Kaiser, that you will not be making yourself an enemy of Russia, for we are not as weak as we once were.
We're sorry to hear this, and we hope that not to be enemies in the future as well. But we will also understand that right now, as the Kingdom of Ukraine and most of the Central European nations deserve to have their own rights to, if they want to be a part of the Reich Pact or back to the Russian Empire.
Again, as far as we're concerned, there are no legitimate governments in these regions. They are simply occupied territories which have been propped up by false governments. So to us, that is not something that we would even remotely consider.
There has to be some compromise here. You can't just go ahead and take them away. They seem happy.
Well, I'm not talking about a compromise. I'm talking about whether or not Germany wishes to mend relations with Russia, or if it wishes to be a hostile power. We're not talking about a compromise here. I'm just wishing to know your opinion towards the Russian people.
We wish to mend our issues, because we realized after the first Welt Krieg that we do not want a second, and a second one would probably just bring more world devastation.
It would, and we also do not wish to see another great war. But you understand, our rebuilt Russia will not be a weak one, and we cannot have our occupied territories continue in the disrespectful manner that they currently exist in.
We understand it. Our only wish is that if you do go ahead and decide to go ahead and take back your territories, that you give them, number one, free elections, and then number two, their own independence, separate from the empire itself. As Germany has gone ahead and put efforts to go ahead. I hate to sound
like a broken record here, but I will say it again. There is no legitimate government in Ukraine, nor White Ruthenia. Those are governments that were propped up by your country, which again, I understand why. But to pretend that these are legitimate governments is nothing more than a joke, as far as we are concerned.
It looks like there's no talking into you not invading Ukraine, is there?
I don't think so. Again, the question I'm asking is, does Russia prepare for a war with Germany or Ukraine?
As a member of Ukraine, as a part of the Reich Pact, it may be a war with Germany and Ukraine.
That is unfortunate to hear. I had hoped that in your later years, Kaiser, you would have wisdom. But it appears the same folly that led to you putting the world into war will put us into another one. And this time, Russia will be ready.
It seems like the ambitions of the Russian Empire has grown too big for its britches, and at this point, it seems more so that you're
the country that has sole dominion over both colonial and European control. To us, we find that quite ironic.
Well, I guess we'll see you on the battlefield.
I'm sad it has come to it. A fellow monarch to be so cavalier in bringing the world into war. It's a tragedy, but it seems that we will see you there as well. All right, hello there. This is Vladimir III of Russia. How are you?
Good, dealing with some Hungarians.
I could see that. Congratulations on rebuilding United Austrian, or sorry, Danubian Federation.
Oh, it's only because of the votes. The people wanted that.
Of course, of course. I wish to ask, as to your relationship with Berlin, how?
Yeah. Go on.
How are relations between you and Berlin? We've had some problems with them recently, to be honest.
Not that great. I did talk to them, but they weren't that friendly to me, so I did cut off relation to them.
Entirely? You cut off relations? Wow.
I did not talk to them since then, and they didn't come to talk to me, so I just went doing my own stuff in the Balkans.
That's very disappointing to hear. We had a similar situation where we asked about the returning of our Ukrainian and Ruthenian territories, and they got, frankly, very hostile with us, which we were very disappointed. There's many within Moscow and my advisors who wish it to me to reconcile with Berlin and to build a new relationship with Germany. But the hostility that we received from their government, frankly, I don't think it'll make it possible. It sounds like you've been in a similar situation.
Yeah, but I have a question. You're talking about retaking your whole lands, am I right?
Yes, the occupied territory of Ukraine and Ruthenia.
And may I know if you're of any...
But anyway, no, we are not interested in annexing European territory. We have nothing against Europe. Your sovereignty should be respected. But let me remind you that Ukraine and Ruthenia, again, are occupied Russian lands. And the foremost intent of my government and my rule shall be the returning of Russia's rightful territories. As you know, we have already taken back the Don-Cuban territories and Central Asia, which were obviously, as far as we see it, in revolt. And the same is of Ukraine and Ruthenia. So no, we have no interest in anything west of that.
I have nothing to disagree on. It seems like you need to take your rightful land. and just like liberate your people.
Of course, and that's what I approached the Kaiser about. I was so surprised to hear the hostility and unwillingness of him to even consider such an offer.
Well, this seems like the Kaiser is really disappointing this past series. He's been like really surprising, like just not wanting to talk with my friends the Ottomans, and then just being really somehow hostile to me. I really don't know what the Kaiser is doing.
It's very disappointing. So I would like to put it together a bit of a coalition here. The Russian people do not seek a war. We would like to avoid a conflict with Germany at all costs, for victory is uncertain, and the loss of life, even in the event of a victory, would be pyrrhic at best. I hope to put together an international coalition to put enough pressure on Berlin to have them allow us to take back our territories. Would you be willing to put the great and powerful status of your nation behind such a peaceful attempt to solve this situation?
I'm not really sure about that, because coalition and peace are two things that don't really works well together. Coalition is like they're fighting.
No, this is a coalition of allies. That it will not be a coalition of war. It's rather a diplomatic coalition to put pressure on the Germans. I expect none of the nations that will back me to go to war, only to provide their diplomatic weight behind resolving this crisis without bloodshed.
You may get my opinion in some talks and behind, but I just on the power shall remain mostly neutral.
Your neutrality is still very, very helpful to the Russian people, and we are thankful for that.
I have a really big border with Germany. I really prefer to remain neutral.
Again, I do not seek to be any sort of a war. A war between Russia and Germany would be a war only between our own countries, you understand. But anyway, your neutrality is still something that we are thankful for.
And I wish you good luck in taking your...
Thank you for your time. We will speak more in the future. All right, now we're gonna go bully the Germans.
Fucking weird.
Oh gosh.
This is Vladimir the Third. My father has perished, but I am here to speak with you while something he was paving the way for before he so tragically died.
And that would be
the return of the occupied regions to the east.
And what kind of deal have you thought of?
We have brought together a group of many nations who are backing us to return to these territories. And as such, we are preparing for the eventuality that we cannot make a deal. But I will say that both the Japanese and Ottomans are supporting the peaceful return of the occupied territories. If you are unwilling to relinquish control of those regions, I suspect that the outcome that you will have is one that will result in the end of Germany's superpower status.
I hear what you're saying.
I would hope so.
Okay, so let's see here. So you mentioned territories in the east that you would wish to claim. Which territories are those?
What do you mean claim? Ukraine and Ruthenia is Russian territory, which is occupied by false governments. We have no claims. We simply wish our territory returned to the empire.
Okay.
My father may have been hesitant to go to war, but rest assured, I am not like him. I will seek a peaceful resolution to honor his name. But I will be honest with you. There are many, such as myself, who would wish to gain glory and victory. But I will, in honor of Vladimir II, my father, attempt a peaceful resolution first.
Okay. So which territories do you wish to bring
Ruthenia
back
and Ukraine
into...
are Russian and will be returned. That is all that we wish. The rest of Europe is European, and we, frankly, it does not concern us.
Ukraine and white, if I guess white, sorry.
White Ruthenia, indeed.
White Ruthenia. You wish to have those back?
Correct.
And if we don't give them back, what will you do?
I think that that is obvious.
How How much time are you willing to give this?
1 year. To this day.
1 year. To this day.
I will remind you that Russia grows stronger by the day. We are not the weak pre-industrial nation we were when you stole our lands. We have become strong with time, and every day Russia grows more powerful and more focused on what it can and should be.
And we entirely understand, given what has happened from the previous, well, given the 1936 and whatnot. So we could totally understand why, but at the same time, give us a year to think about it, and we'll see what we will come up with.
In a year, if our territories are not returned, we will take action. And I will say this again, there are many in my cabinet and my advisors who are itching for a war. With our allies, I think that we will be able to give you a very strong fight. And in the event of a war with you, our peace terms will not be as beneficial as the ones that I am offering now. Again, to honor my father. If we must fight a war with you, we will take everything you have.
Yes, we hear you loud and clear, and we understand your current position.
Good. You have a year.
We have a year, and we will make sure to use it.
They're going to prepare for a war is what they're going to do. And we are too.
Russia, can we talk real quick?
Who was speaking?
This is the Emperor, I should say, we're no longer an empire.
Who am I speaking with?
This is the Prime Minister or Chancellor, however you want to put it, of the German Empire.
Chancellor, what can I do for you?
Recently, Ukraine has broken for the Reich Pact. So now you have free claim over Ukraine. As Ukraine's breakaway from the Reich Pact does mean that they no longer seek to go ahead and keep with the economic bloc and decide to go on their own. As such, now we will give you full rights to Ukraine.
Ruthenia, as well as you know, is a part of the ultimatum. I assume that that will also be a part of this.
But it's no longer with an A, it's now the Belarus.
It is a puppet of your government, though.
If we were to release it.
Indeed.
If we were to release it as a free state, how would you feel?
We would promptly take it back, as it is rightful Russian territory. But if you would allow that to happen, then I suspect that we could coexist. In fact, we could build a future together. As I said before to your Kaiser, many in my government have sought for a rebuilding of ties with your government. But of course, that is always going to be impossible while you hold our territories.
All right, okay. In order to avoid a war and a second Welt Krieg, I'm going to go ahead and release the Belarusian People's Republic.
I must say, Russia, I am glad to see that you have seen reason. And I hope that this is the beginning of a new era for relations between Russia and Germany.
We certainly hope so.
We will honor our promise. This is as far west as we will go.
And we appreciate that.
Indeed. Well, I'm glad you saw reason, and we look forward to a new future.
We do, in fact, look forward to a new future. One of cooperation instead of war.
Indeed. All right, folks. We got the Kaiser to back down, and we took back Belarusia, and we will soon take back Ukraine. We have gotten what we wanted out of Europe. Our strength is clearly respected by the Europeans. So the question is now, what do we do next? We will re-annex them, of course, and Egypt has fallen to our Ottoman allies. Wonderful. Yeah, Crimea, you are absolutely right. Thank you. The Kiev, come on. No. Get a Kiev. We're doing what Russia never could. Putin's watching this and crying. All right. Ukraine has almost fallen. And with it, holy fuckaroni. Holy fuckaroni! Germany, when the time comes and we are able to, we will help protect monarchies of Europe. We need to come in and save Berlin here.
It's been only 3 months.
Russia has air up, and we will have our soldiers as soon as we enter the war. I just need you to hold. Is the Kriegsmarine still alive?
Kriegsmarine definitely is still alive.
Wonderful. The Russian Navy, in cooperation with you, will allow us to lock down the Baltic. I have to repair my whole navy though, because we're gonna push Germany. We're gonna help Germany push a little bit. Then I'll pull off my troops. Because we're gonna go to war with the Entente here in a second. That's what we're repairing our navy for. MacArthur has managed to stabilize. He keeps getting navally invaded by the fucking Entente though. Poor guy. They had all of Florida for a while. He's fighting the Pacific States and the Entente right now. Poor guy. So we're gonna help him with that because we're gonna fight the Entente because we're gonna go after India. I'm gonna make Germany aware of that. Germany, I'm sending my fleet to the eastern North Sea to patrol. Just a heads up.
Okay, I have most of my stuff is set on patrol, mostly around the areas towards like what's it called? Yeah, actually Eastern North Sea. That's where my
all my naval bombers are up there too. So if we can get a naval engagement with their forces there, that would be huge.
We did. We sunk 2 battleships, a battle cruiser, another cruiser, mostly being the British, and then we also
Delhi fell. Oh shit! The communists.
Look.
You know Britain's navy's dead.
I just want to get this.
The French fleet is still out there though.
Yeah, no, it's somewhere out there, but and we have green air everywhere. What happened to their air?
What air?
I was about to say their air seems to have disappeared in different parts.
I think most of it's been shut down. I slaughtered a ton of it even when I had the volunteers, but
we're actually we're actually pushing them back some on the lines here.
No, I know. I'm full on pushing too, but actually I will stop because I'm losing real quick here. Kaiser, I think it's time for us to have a talk now that the war's starting to go better. We will be asking for the Lithuanian territories to be transferred to us after the end of the war for our help in saving you here.
It'd be greatly if it's completely justified.
Indeed. There's a lot of Russian boys dying, and they will not die for nothing. My submarines are almost all dead. I've been training them on no repair for apparently the last 5 years in fucking Eastern Russia.
God,
that's brutal. Those poor fucking submariners.
We just sunk their entire fleet, man. Oh.
Even though, like, and there it goes.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
I'm done.
Yep.
I'm done.